Emile.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm happy because still alive.
Yeah, I mean, that's about as much as we can ask for at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It's a
how
difficult
is the
time.
coronavirus in Australia?
Not great. Yeah, it's the last week. It has gotten quite bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the moment, we are maybe half locked down, but I
Okay,
think
that's
maybe
good.
this weekend or next week,
Yeah,
full lockdown.
I wish even here in Madagascar it's still worse, but especially in Tananarive, but in
It
the
sounds, Tananarive, it does not sound good.
yeah, but in some part it seems okay. But
Okay.
I wish next month, yeah, it
Mm.
will be less. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
yeah. Thanks.
How is Ranomafana?
Oh, Ramafan is still waiting for you.
Oh, I wish I was there.
Yeah, yeah. When yeah
Hello.
Hello,
when
how are
Hello
this
you?
again. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm
Ah,
excited to be talking with you guys in Madagascar again.
Do you remember me? Because I think we met here one day.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember
I
my
remember
name?
your face. I remember your face, but I can't quite remember your name. I'm sorry.
Emile is my granddad. Look,
Say that again.
mostly the same face, the
I
same
was gonna
look.
say, I was gonna say, I think you two are related, right?
um,
Uh,
not really.
maybe.
Maybe.
Dauphin was here. Dauphin was here last time, but I'm Angeline.
Oh, that's a fat frog. I love it.
Okay, so I am Emile Rajerarison and one of the guide here in Ranmafan. We are going to do the night walk, and then I would like to show you a lot of things as we can see today. Yeah, and thank you for help us also.
My pleasure, Emile. I'm always happy to be back in Madagascar, even though this time I'm stuck in Australia. It's a real pleasure to be able to join you to go out into the forest at night and discover the wonders that your forest hold.
Yeah, so hopefully I'm very happy to hear that also because if you come back again to Madagascar and then I might help you also to explore of the Madagascar creature. Yeah, thanks.
I hope so. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so uh, now let's start. Let's go in the forest to do the night walk. And then now we are look at this white lip frog. And white lip frog is one of some of the big species of a frog, nocturnal frog, tree frog. And then this is the male, because the male have a green color. And then when during the reproduction period, and then the leg is a little bit more orange, yellow, and female is brown color. And then he is very nice color because sometimes when they are during the reproduction period also, the dorsal of the male is looks like uh, uh, black spots on the back, but we will see later. Yeah,
So
and
during the breeding season, they sometimes get black spots on their back.
yeah, that is during the reproduction period, the black spot on the back. Yeah, and then now this a green color because non-reproduction period. Yeah, and this also the frog is not calling very often. That's why we are very hard for us to know exactly whose call is this frog. Even in my frog list, and then the call of this is not really clear, and then not really his call. Yeah. And so this is during the reproduction period also. You can see them a lot in a little stream or stagnant water, and then they make a community a mating, and then you can see the male twice the female and jump back and jumping, and then make a funny, yeah. And then sometimes you are laughing because, and then the female you say, "Oh, you are not right a male, so go away," and then he's kicking something like this, and then looking for another female, and then
So the
and then
female
if
quite
they because they make a call, if the call is very nice, and then the female just agreed, and then the male start to make a muscle for the egg, and then female start to lay egg, and then he profit to ferment it. Yeah. So that's the this frog, and also uh, let's go looking for a different kind of something. Maybe we might see something. You have a question? You have a question, please?
Yeah, well, I was asking. You mentioned that are the females quite picky with their mates.
Yeah, it's quite tricky because otherwise it's a little bit difficult to see the female. Otherwise the male, yeah, except that during near the reproduction period, you can see the female usually. We don't know why. So that's what says if there is some people want to study more deep about the frog, Madagascar frog, that would be very good.
So Emile, Joan would like to know, what's the black spot that they get? Do we know what the black spot is? Is it just a change in the color?
The black spot means he's already, that's the color to show for the female. He's ready for reproduction. So that's why the black spots on the back is,
Okay.
yeah. And then even he's very far, the male is far, and then it's more visible for the female to see. Not only
It is
female.
very striking. It is very striking. Yes, Joan, I think a signal would be a very good word for it. I know when I found this white-lipped frog when I was in Madagascar, the one that I found had these great big black spots on its back. And at the time, I had no idea why it had black spots. I thought maybe it was a fungus, or maybe it was a sickness of some sort, and we were quite worried. It's only now tonight that I'm learning that actually it just meant that this frog was ready to breed.
Yeah, because so always when they
That's the
have
one.
a
That's
very
that frog behind Emile is the one that we found.
yeah, yeah, and then always in October, November, December they have this color, but after that, and then the color turn to light green.
Okay.
Yeah, even the legs. You see
Well,
the legs looks like more yellow orange, and then that's
yeah. They're incredible colors.
the communication, color communication in between male and female. Yeah. Yeah. So now there is also a different kind of frog, and then we call it. This is the this very distinct color when you even far from to see it, and then the red above the eyes, and then on the dorsal there is also some dirty red. We call it a Bovis tasmana. And then tasmana means, that's Malagasy word, that means dirty because the color is green. And then they have a dirty red on the back or above the eyes. And then that's why we call it a tasmana.
So they call it
like
they call it the dirty frog. They call it the dirty frog.
Yeah, the red dirty frog.
That's so mean. It's so pretty.
Yeah, because if he's only green, and then maybe the female didn't find him, that's why maybe there is some color. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Is that one there behind you? Is he full grown?
Huh?
Is that a full size frog, or will he still grow a bit more?
This is full size, fully grown. size.
They're so
Male
small.
about this long. You see, about this. Oh,
Tiny.
yeah, tiny. Yeah, and then there's more, very, very little than this one, like the nail, the like a nail. But that's is
Mm.
we don't have that. That's a stumpy.
Ah,
Yeah,
the Stumpfia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I found quite a few of those.
yeah, yeah. And Tasman also is a very common species because they are always two, 1 meter to less than 2 meters high. They are calling, but nearby the stream or the big river. Yeah.
Well, they're very beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. And then let's go looking for, because I would like to know to tell you also, Madagascar is a very a lots of rich of species of frogs because more than two hundred 250 species, but Ramafan, we have 60 species here in Ramafan. Yeah, and then
That's
the
a
frog is
crazy number.
also an indicator for forest healthy. If the species is very diverse, and then most of them are survive, that means the forest health is good, the forest humid. So that's why we are the tropical humid forest. It's a good indicator. Yeah, and then also they are also human helper because the tadpoles eat the mosquito larvae, and that's why if you camp in the forest, you can't feel any mosquito because lots
Oh,
of
because
frogs.
of how many frogs there are.
Oh,
Because of how many frogs there are, you can't feel mosquitoes.
yeah, because there are many
Ah.
160 species of
Mm.
frogs. Yeah, that's
I
why.
knew I loved frogs for a reason.
Yeah, that's me too. I love frogs. And then this species is we call it Bovis elene, and one part of the green tree frog, and uh, green, and then they have spots of silver, but we don't tell it Tassi silver, but just Elene. And then look at the eyes, very bright, and then
The eyes are
very,
very beautiful,
yeah, very
very different.
beautiful. Look this, and then he's looking, watching for me, and then when I find him, and then hard to see also the frog is sometimes. So if you want to know where he is and then what species is, you must to learn, and then to remember their call. Call is very important to know the frog because each
Mm.
species they have a different call, communication, and then the male never try to communicate to attract the female until he find the female. Yeah, that is the only communication they can use. And if the call is very melody, sharp melody, and then the female is very attractive, and then come toward to him, and then he just back on the back of the female, and then keep the female not go anywhere because sometimes she listen for sharp melody call, and then she escape, but that way he just hold the female until lay egg.
So, Emile,
Yeah.
with a lot of frogs around the world,
Yes.
the male is much smaller than the female. Is that the same in Ranomafana?
Um, that's a good question. There is some speak. Most of the frog, the female is bigger than the male.
Mm.
Yeah, you know why? Because if the female and the male same size, hard for the female to hold the male on the back because very
Mm.
heavy. Yeah, and then that's why the male is smaller, and then easy for the female if she's not ready for to lay egg yet, and then she can jump anywhere looking for food, and then the male
Ah,
still stay there.
the female has to do a lot of work.
Yes, not not like a human. Yeah, and also some of a frog, they are of the same size. Yeah. If they are not stay for make a community mating, they are about the same size. because not hard. Yeah. So let's go looking for a different. Yeah. Oh, there's and then some frog. As I told you, you have to listen the call. If you sometimes some client come to Ranomafana and then they want to see specific species of frog, and then they make a checklist. If I know the checklist, what they want to see, I know their habitat, I know their call, and then it's easy to find them. And then, did you hear some frog call? The call of
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is one even I'm not seen yet, and then I know this is the species Bophis luteus, and then he make the call like fences, fentweet, fences, fentweet, and then they call the note of the call meaning some number. Fences is 26, fentweet is 28, and he forget the number of the 27, Vincent. And then the teacher say, oh, you forget another number. And then he's go back to 26 to Francis. And then Francis, and then he forget Vincent and then Ventuit. That's why now the call is still Francis, Ventuit, Francis, Ventuit. Francis, Ventuit, Francis, Ventuit. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
listen.
a very fun story. I like that. And now that you say it, I can hear the frog saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we just talk with the kids, and they are very laughing because they listen the call, and then it's right. It looks like right.
So that's the story you use to teach the kids.
Yeah.
About the call. I love that. That's amazing.
To make the kids love the frogs. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So let's go find the different thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is also different kind of frog. Yeah. And this frog is, we call it Bophis oh, this is the Bophis tephromistax, and also Bophis. Oh yeah, this is Bophis Zephyromantis tsenki. Yeah, and they have a little horn, little yeah.
Oh, the little horn above the eye.
Yeah, because they have a spine on the top of the here. They have a spine on the eyes, above the eyes.
What? Yeah. Is there a reason for the spine?
Yeah, a little spine, but it's hard for, and then I can see it now. Yeah, and this species also calling, many of them are calling during December, January, and then like
during the wet season.
December and January. Yeah. Something like that. And then hard to see. Even he's 1 meter above you or 2 meters above you, and then hard to see because he's just sit on top of the leaves or on the branch. Yeah. So that's why it's hard to see this frog. He's white.
Emile, do you know why does the frog have the spine?
That's I have no idea with that.
Okay.
Species. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Maybe something that somebody should research one day.
Yeah, could be.
maybe when I come back.
Yeah, and so I did this job for to be a guide and then a research guide for almost 35 years now, because I'm the first.
35 years, wow.
Doctor Patricia Wright is guide, and then there are lots of professors came to Ranomafana, and then I helped them, and for insect and plant and bird and lemurs, and then also the frogs, because I helped with Miguel Vences and Frank Clot to make some frog recensement for all of Madagascar in the forest. And that's why I find one new species of frogs. And then when
is this your frog?
Yes, this is my frog.
This is your frog.
I called Miguel, and then I find another new species of frog. Then he said, "How do you? It is a new species." Because I said, oh, with the call is different than the call we know before. And then he said, okay, what is the frog? And then I said, oh, in the forest. And then don't say you find the new species. And then many years later, I still keep talking with him, and then he said, Emile, let's go looking for this frog if you know exactly where they are. Yeah, and then we find it. And then after the DNA analysis down, and then he decided to name it after my name. That's why this is Emile's frog. Yeah.
That's very special.
Yeah. And then the call is very different than the another call with the
Oh,
frog.
really?
Because it looks like similar to the insect call or bird call.
Oh,
And then
really?
that's why I said,
Can you imitate it?
Yeah, you make a 6 note, like a stop, stop. And then he's calling here, and then after calling far, I thought it's a fly over there. Yeah, it flew over there. And then I said, oh, maybe it's insect, but the insect call, I know all of the crickets call, etc. And then cicada call. And then when I asked myself to find it, and then it's taken 30 minutes to find it. And then it was just 2 meters above my head, because when he called, and then I move. When he called, I move. If he stop, I stop. Yeah, and then I find it, and then that's why I said, oh, this is different, because I know the genus. Yeah, because you have to know which genus is this, and then that's why I say, okay, this is an odontilla, but different than an odontilla. It's already known. And then, so that's why I told Miguel, and then he's there.
Well, that's very special.
And then look at the one on the top. It is from Samalauta, near Vuiparara. You remember Vuiparara?
Oh, really?
And then the one at the bottom is the one from Maharira. That's the highest mountain here in Ranomafana.
Oh, okay, yeah.
400 meters altitude. But we don't know, but it is the same species. Maybe this is the color for the reproduction color. So this one,
oh, maybe
reproduction color, but another one is maybe the non-reproduction, but maybe the habitat, because more cold up there than down here.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So different. So if you are doing for the night walk, you have to walk very, very slow, because sometimes you miss something, you're missing something. And then that's why you need to patient, and then thinking, and then looking for the way, the trail. And then look at there is a...
Emile, what's that in the tree?
Yeah, that's why, there is I see the eye sign. That's a mouse lemur. Yeah, this is a mouse lemur. And then the little one, very number cute one. And then the smallest of the species of lemur here in Ranomafana, because it weighed about 45 to 50 grams only about this size, about this long.
That's so little.
About out of the tail, with the tail a little bit longer. Yeah, it's very little. And then this is the smallest of the lemurs here in Ranomafana, but there is another one more smaller than this one, but it lives in the north of Madagascar. That's Madame Bertie's mouse lemur, 30 to 35 grams only. So mouse lemur is solitary, because they live alone, except during the reproduction period. You can see one male and one female at the same nest. Yeah, and after finish the reproduction, and then the female take care for the baby, and then the male looking for another female. That's not good, but that's their life. Yeah, and then before the sun rise, and then they collect the leaves, lots of leaves, and then rolling, make a ball, and then they sleep inside of this nest during the daytime.
So the leaves that they collect, they use to make a nest.
They make a ball like this, and then sleep there during the daytime. If the leaves start to dry, and then the color dark brown, they must rebuild a different nest in the different area because the predator like a snake, carpenter, constrictor snake, and
Mm-hmm.
bird and mongoose eat them if they find the nest. That's why they must
So as long as the nest is green leaves that are
green
wet and
leaves,
still
just a
look
green,
lively,
yeah, like a ball like
then
this.
they'll keep it.
Yeah, and sometimes the nesting using for old bird nest or in the tree
Ah,
hole.
sneaky.
Yeah, and like especially for the a bird we call it a Nelly Corby weaver. Yeah, you see the
Oh,
Nelly Corby
wow.
weaver nest. Yeah, like
That's
this.
a bird's nest.
Yeah, and then he's going in this side, going here, and then sleep on here.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's an
and
incredible nest.
and then also they use also a different kind of bird nest. And this mouse lemur also, if they get fat, eat a lots of fruits and leaves and gum and insect, and
Mm-hmm.
then they have fat, and then sometimes they are sleeping for 1 month or 2 months, and then
Oh, wow. So long.
also active also. It's not taking so longer. Yeah, and mouse lemur is also part of the primate who pollinate the flower. Yeah, because if there is some tree
Oh.
and then a lot of insect on to pollinate the flower, mouse lemur are very happy because there are lots of different kind of meal, the insect meal, because they need energy from the um, protein for the insect. And then they come and then catch the insect, and then the pollens of the flower stuck on their hair, and then that's why they can transfer for the pollens to the another plant. Yeah, that's why we call it a part of the lemur's pollinator. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Joan just asked, they sleep for how long? You said it was about one month or 2 months, maybe?
Yeah, 1 or 2 months less than that, but sometimes it's
So
depends.
Joan, they call that, they enter a state of what's known as torpor. And they sort of lower it's like hibernating, but for a much shorter period. They're able to lower their heart rate and lower the amount of energy that they need to stay alive for a prolonged period of time, which they tend to do during periods when there's not much food around,
Yeah, maybe.
sort of maybe, before the breeding season and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, because sometimes when we were, especially when the cold season, sometimes when we do the night walk looking for mouse lemur, sometimes we not seen them. Maybe we thought it's sleeping. So I work with Sylvia and Sally, also put the radio on the neck of the mouse lemur, and then sometimes he stay in the nest for sometimes a week, and then
So
after moving again.
the nest that they sleep in for that long, would they stay in the birds' nests
They
or
stay
their
in the
own
tree hole. We don't know
and tree
exactly,
holes? Okay.
but in the tree we are below, and then there are no chance to climbing up, and then the
Ah.
signal beeping just above our head on the tree, but we don't know if
Oh, so
he's in.
you had a tracker on them.
Yeah, we have a radio
Okay.
tracking. Yes. Yeah. So
Very
that's the
interesting.
mouse lemur, and they eat lots and lots of insect. Yeah, and so let's keep looking for different. Yeah, and so there is also some different thing. Sometimes you can see very clear. Oh yeah. So because on a distance, and then I say, oh, it is some
Emile,
leaf-tailed
what is
gecko.
that?
It is the Satanic leaf-tailed gecko because I see the eye sign, and then I say, oh, maybe Muslim or maybe, but the eye sign of the gecko, nocturnal gecko, also is very bright. Sometimes you can make it confused because you thought, oh, maybe this is a mouse lemur or this is a frog. But if you just go very close, and then the white color on the belly is very distinctive, even you are a little bit far from him. And then this
Those
is
eyes are incredible.
the king of the wild camouflage of the animals in the world, because it looks like a leaf. Even the tail is like a leaf. Yeah. And then the color of him also is very, very cryptic to the dead leaves. So that's why if you're looking for them, and then you have to see very, open your eyes, and then sometimes you can see them by chance, but sometimes even they are there, and then make some surprise, and then you even is there, and then you say, oh, I didn't see anything, except if the tongue is come out to dry there, to give water for the eyes. Sometimes you want.
Emile, I think that's very creepy when they do that.
Yeah.
When just the tongue comes out the side of their mouth and licks the eye. I think it's quite creepy.
Yes. And then even sometimes also the tail also is easy to know him, but because they use also their tail for defensive, because if the predators coming, and then to find, even not find them, and then he find the bird or the snake, he just moving the tail, and then if the bird come close, and then he cuts his tail, and then the tail move down on the ground, and then moving, and then the bird go to the tail, and then he escaped from the prey. The tail will regrow again.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, very impressive. For those of you that haven't been to Ranomafana and been out into the forest and seen these incredible, incredible lizards, one of the favorite games of the guides in Ranomafana to play is to stand by a bush where they have seen a leaf-tailed gecko, and to ask the person that they are with to find the gecko. And they will sit there, or they'll stand there and laugh as people cannot find these geckos. And they'll sit there for, sometimes I've stood there for 5-10 minutes as they've watched and laughed at these tourists that haven't been able to find the geckos, because their camouflage is so good. You can see on this one behind me, maybe, perhaps a slightly better idea of just how good the camouflage is. They look exactly like a dead leaf. Even on the tail of this one, you can see the little notches as if the leaf has been broken or stepped on. You can see the lines running along it. The camouflage is absolutely stunning.
Yeah. So that's it for this Satanica little gecko. And then the male is different than the female, because this is the male, and then the tail, they have like a show with look at his tail. You see this, the tail? You see
So the little holes in the tail?
Yeah, like a hole on the head, rear of the tail, and then the female just complete. And then the color also is different.
Okay.
And the gecko can change color, except if he's very angry, and then he turn black, just black.
I see. But
But
when they're very angry,
it's
they
not
turn black.
really nervous, and then the color is similar to this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have Madagascar 8 species of gecko. It's known already, but Ranomafana we have 4 species of leaf-tailed gecko. Yeah. Okay. So,
Which other ones do you have? Which other ones do you have?
So we have the Samelti. This is the Sameltism. This is the mossy leaf-tailed gecko. Yeah. And then mossy leaf-tailed gecko is Europlatis cicore. And then we have Europlatis samiti, and this is Europlatis fantasticus, and Europlatis fimbriatis, the giant leaf-tailed gecko.
Ah, the giant. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is the mossy leaf-tailed gecko. And also in Namafan, toward to the Talatakeli area, the leaf-tailed gecko, there is just the mossy leaf-tailed gecko. And then over the side of the part of a Valbio Research Center, this side of Namurna River, just the summit is lifted gecko. And Miguel Vences
so the river separates them.
yeah, separate the species. We don't know why. And then Miguel Vences want to know why they are a separate species. Maybe by the river, very large, or maybe at the beginning of the head of the Namurna River, maybe the species mixed, but there is no forest left anymore. So
no.
we don't know the result yet.
That's a shame.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very hard also when this mossy lifted gecko sleep on the tree with the green moss. And then that's why it's hard to see. Sometimes you can see them by accident because you rub the tree and then you whistling, squeezing, and then you say, oh, that's it. And then, or sometimes you can see them by chance because we know how to find them. If the tree is bumping, that means there is.
Emile,
yeah.
In the north of Madagascar,
yes,
there is the Europlatus henkeli, and they scream in a defensive mechanism. They will sort of stand up and open their mouths wide and scream, and apparently they sound very like human screams.
Yes.
Do the ones in Ranomafana do the same thing?
Yes, they did the same thing, especially for the big lifted gecko. Fantastic is not screaming, but the big size, they are screaming to help him to avoid the escape from the predators. And then he's screaming, then cut his tail, and then the tail is moving, and then the bird follow the screaming. He thought the tail is screaming.
Yeah,
and then help him to defend. So that's
so strange.
Yes, very strange. Yeah. So keep going looking for a different thing, and then now we are looking for some. This is the chameleon. We call it the Ozonosis chameleon, right here. And then this is the male. He's sleeping because. So if someone wants to see the chameleon, so go at night, because the chameleon at night, they're sleeping, they can see. Yeah, and then they just hold their normal color. And then the normal color is very bright when you use the torch headlamp, and then find the color of it, and then it's very bright and then more distinctive at night. But,
okay.
Yeah, but during the daytime, they have lots of enemies, like a raptor bird, like a snake, or a different thing. And then that's why they use their color, use the color change, and then to mimic to the background to avoid their predator. That's why their eyes mobile, looking for 360 degrees vision. And then if they find one of the eyes, find a cricket or some cicada or some different thing, and then the another eyes help the first one to same vision to measure in the distance of the insect. They want to throw their tongue, because they use the tongue for catching, like the hammer to catching the insect to come lead in their mouth. Yeah, that's why there are eyes mobile. Yeah.
So Emile, Ali has asked, wouldn't the chameleon be more likely to be seen at night by nocturnal predators if they don't use their camouflage when they're asleep?
So chameleon can see at night, but before.
But what about their predators?
Yeah, I just continue to talk with you about that. Yeah, to answer you, and then before it's get dark, and then he know the habitat around, and then he's looking for the little branch. So little branch like this, sleep on it. if they are big on the big branch, if it's a very small, like one behind you, like a side-striped chameleon on the leaves or on the little branch, because that's the defense from the animals at night, like the snake, arboreal snake, or some of nocturnal bird, like a owl, the scope owl. If the birds sit on the branch where they're sleeping, and then it's yeah, the bird is or the snake is heavy, and then moving, and then he just fall off on the ground.
Oh, he just falls off.
Falls off, yeah, because he
So the chameleon feels the
big
vibrations on the branch or on
vibration, yeah, and
and
then
then
he
just
just falling down on the
falls
ground,
to the ground.
yeah, and then that's
Wow.
help them. That's why they are sleep. Sometimes sleeping, hanging on the what on the leaves, and then otherwise the head is down, yeah, but sometimes up, but usually the head is down, and then easy for him to falling down on the ground, and then change color very quick.
Yeah, luckily, I think also I'd add that to Ali's question, at night, because of the lack of light, the color of the chameleon isn't as vibrant to the other animals, so it's much harder for them to see. So those colors, especially when they take on the greens, like the one behind me or the one behind Emile, it really does just blend in to the forest and into the leaves and onto the trees. It's quite remarkable.
Yeah, and then also if you put the light, the color is very bright, and then after a couple of seconds, it become too dark, because with the light,
I think that one behind you is in the process of changing color.
Dark, you know. Yeah, and then this is a different species. We call it a big-nosed chameleon. Yeah, and this is also the small-size chameleon, and he's sleeping now on the grass, bamboo grass leaves. Yeah, and then now the head is up. He have a little horn, flat horn above the
okay.
near the nose. Yeah, and yeah, that's the defense from the predators. Yeah, he's very smart, and so looking for, you see something? Yeah, and then dark, and then you have to bring also some extra battery, because sometimes if your first battery finish, you have to change it. Okay, yeah, this is also a different kind of chameleon. So here in Madagascar, we have 170 species of chameleon all of Madagascar. And then
That's so many chameleons.
Yeah, almost of the half of the chameleons are in the world, and then almost of the half the species in the world is found in Madagascar, but 75 species. And then Ranomafana, we do have 13 species. Maybe there's more, because you know Ranomafana forest is park is very quite big, about 41,600 hectares, and then many places never visited by the researcher, and then never been studying. So that's why I hope every and then that's why every 5 to 10 years we still discover new species of animals, and then I hope there is more. It's not known yet. So if there are some people want to study them and then study more Madagascar creature, come back. Yeah.
So next time I come, you will take me to some of these places that haven't been explored yet?
Yes. Yeah, I can. Yeah, because I did the walking with Dr. Patricia Wright to make the park boundaries, and then the people around the countryside around the park know me very well. Yeah, because
I can imagine you would be very famous.
Yeah, and then we can go in the different place where we never the researcher never been there. except at the place where there is a lot of dahalo.
Yeah, stay away from the Dahalu.
Yeah, we have
Dahalu bandits.
a yeah. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
What's next, Emile? What else are we finding
Yeah,
there?
and then this is still the blue-legged chameleon. So blue-legged chameleon is also very strange color because this is the female and no horn, and then the male with a horn, one single horn, red. And why we call it a blue-legged chameleon? Because female never blue on the leg, and then the male during the reproduction period, and then you can see the legs, and then the arm leg also blue, because that's means he's ready for reproduction, and then that's the only communication in between the male and then the female, because they never use some call or something like that, and then only the color is
So they use the color instead. So the frogs use the calls, and the chameleons use their colors to say, "Hey, I'm ready. Let's go."
Yeah, and then if it is very blue on the leg, and then more colorful, and then the female now is ready, and then after the female are ready for that also, and then the color of the female, if the egg is already there, and then it's changed, and then the another male now she's already finished the reproduction. Yeah. And so this is a different kind of big-nosed chameleon also, and you know, he's sleeping on the top of the wind. Yeah, this little plant. Yeah, and then it's hard for the bird who stand on this little branch, and then he's safe. Or the snake also. If the snake are not arboreal snake going there, and then the grass is falling down, and then it still disappear.
That's a very sneaky spot to sleep.
And then look at it. There is the snake there. So this is the sometimes we call it also water forest snake, and then usually they are nearby the stream, and then climbing the tree, and then hiding for frog who calling on this stagnant water, because this is good habitat for the frog, and then the female of them lay there, and then the snake profits to eat the lazy frog.
The lazy frog. That's a beautiful snake.
Yeah, because the snake walking very mura, you know, means mura. And then walk mura, and then
mura.
The female. This is good place for our generation. And then snake cuts him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why this is arboreal snake. There's another one.
Joan, mora.
Yeah, so mora means
slowly.
Yes, that's why
it's really the national motto of Madagascar. All across the country you go, mora, slowly.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, mora, slowly. That's why we find also new species of frogs here in Ranomafana. And then it is a same genus of my frog, Emile's frog. That's Anodontilla. And then one is Anodontilla brunzeri. And then the call is faster, malaki. And then another one, that's opposite of mora. The another one is mora, very slow. And then that's why they confused, this is a different than the another brunzeri. That's why they named it Anodontilla mora. Yeah, because very soft and slow is the call. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. So, again, looking for different strange thing. Oh, wow. Look at this. Do you know this little creature? Yeah, it's
Is that a stick insect?
Yeah, it's a stick insect. Yeah, walking stick. The stick who walk because they have a
Wow,
leg.
that's some long legs.
Yeah, long legs. And this little creature is very amazing because during the daytime, they're sleeping. And then they arrange their legs. The two pairs of legs go back, and then one pair just looks like an antenna. Yeah, and then
Oh,
sleep.
okay.
And then if you walk there and then you didn't see, oh, there's nothing, but there is insect. That's the camouflage from the bird.
Wow.
The bird active during the day. Yeah. And then or sometimes the bird pass there and then he move and then he just find the
Mm.
bird. Yeah, we have lots of different stick insect here in Ranomafana. Yeah, very amazing creature. Yeah. So
So, Emile, I have another question for you about the stick insect quickly.
yeah,
In other parts of the world, the
yes,
stick insect, when they fly,
yeah.
they look like little people. And so there are stories that say that maybe a lot of the fairies sort of stories around the world have come from stick insects.
Oh yeah.
Is it the same in Madagascar, do you think?
Here, so the people didn't, they're afraid for the stick insect because
Mm.
they said they it is a very strange insect and then that's why they afraid it and then they didn't think about it. Yeah. Well, they say, oh, this is a crazy stick walking.
Yeah, just a
So
crazy
we
stick.
don't
Yeah.
have any, but some of them are
Mhm.
using a gland, send the
Mhm.
gland. If you touch them, and then they blow the gland, and then it's
Yeah.
pink. Yeah, that's why they are
Whoa.
not interested for this because they are afraid their eyes.
Wow.
The gland where the stinking, some stinking insect descended. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
To answer Meg's question, stick insects can fly. Some of them can, not all.
yeah. Some of them
I
can.
think often the females of most species can't,
Mhm.
while the males can.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm not. I do not study insects.
Yeah, and so we have another one. It's a large, so large, about like yeah, large
Oh
sticky,
wow!
about 30 centimeters, and then both male and female can fly. Yeah, and then
Wow,
it's bigger
that's a
than my
big
phone
big
here.
insect.
Yeah, long and then very colorful. Yeah,
Okay.
like and then the place for the wings is very smaller on the thorax. And then
Hmm.
when you open it, it's a third times of the part where they are storing the second wings. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
but they know how
Very
to
cool.
grab it. Yes. Yeah.
I think I
Okay.
saw you had a very cool animal up next.
Yeah. So this is amazing primate because this is an we call it the eye. And then look at this eye, and then my
Wow.
light is not really bright enough. That's why it's a little bit dark. And then this eye is come out from the nest, and then he's a little bit tired. And then because the nest is very small, and then he's scratching a lot because they have a lots of mite, and then that's why they need a scratching, and then he's alone. No one who help him to grooming, that's why he's soft
Mm.
grooming. Yeah. And the nest is very smaller and then hard to scratching in the nest. That's why he going outside and then now is the time for start to hike, looking for
Oh
food.
wow.
Yeah, insect
I
or
would love to find an eye. They're such incredible animals. They're so strange.
yeah.
Their middle finger is very weird.
Yeah. So the finger here is very long and then very thin, like a nail, like a needle, to put in they bite the wood or dead wood where they're larvae, just listening because their ear is very sensible, listen the insect and then like this and then listening. And then he know, the insect is here, and then very quick to bite and make a hole, and then use the finger to sting the, spearing the larva, and then eat. They use also with the coconuts, make a hole, and then use the finger to eat the.
Oh, with coconuts as well.
Yeah, the crab.
I didn't know about that. That's very cool.
Yes. Yeah. So that,
That's some very strong teeth.
I also is hard to see here in Ranomafana, because we will have II here, and then now until now we never know where exactly they are nesting. Yeah, and then maybe they are nesting in the tree hole, or normally they build a nest, lots of branches, and then sleep in there, or use the tree hole, or no. And then that's why Dr. Patricia Wright want to study this. If some students find the IIs, and then they dart the II, put the radio color, and then she pay for the ticket for a flight Madagascar to United States, back and forth. But I told her, if I find the II, and then I just told you, because I don't have a telesol to make a slip the II, and then she said, okay, even you, she can pay me.
You're the man, Emile. You're the man.
Also, to find the II and then study the II here in Ranomafana, and then maybe soon. Yeah, if you come back.
Hopefully.
So that is the hike, and then so thank you for my help, and then thank you very much also for the Sarah client to help us with this virtual tour, and then hopefully there is a more program for the future. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Emile. I have one more question for you. Before we all run away. What is it like in Ranomafana at the moment with coronavirus? What is happening for you? What is your life like?
Oh, so like,
because I know normally you have a lot of tourists there, you have a lot of work to do with maybe visiting researchers or with visiting tourists. But now obviously that's stopped. So I want to know what it's like for you now.
Okay, now usually with the preparing help of this about this virtual tour, and then sometimes we are looking for some frogs in the different forest, not in the park but outside of the park, but not every day. But sometimes I just doing for homework, and then go in my field. And then because I plant the vanilla bean, I make a vanilla plantation nearby my home. And I just prepare to add more compost on the vanilla plantation. And also just keeping checking for the book for insect or for bird. But the bird, I know all of the bird, and then just teach my wife, because my wife also is a wildlife guide, and then
fantastic.
I trained her to be a guide, and she wants more deep about the bird. With my son also, it's good for birding, and then also help with some people come to my house and teach them about the biodiversity, because I have lots of knowledge of the insect and amphibians and reptiles, and bird and plant as well, orchids and everything.
Yeah, amazing.
But there is no money yet except this, so that's why I just give 100%. Lots of thanks for your help with this. Without this, and then we lose our job. Thank you.
You know, hopefully we can all maybe sleep like the mouse lemur and wake up in 2 months' time and everything will be fine again.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I just sleep. If it's rain, now it's raining a lot here in Ranomafana, and then sometimes I sleep on the bed, and then sometimes, oh, you have to go out because there are lots of things need to learn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
Emile,
so much.
for your knowledge and for everything. Thank you, everybody,
you.
for joining us. We hope
Yeah.
that you learned something and that you enjoyed. Please, if you did enjoy and if you did learn something today, please continue to share the wonderful work that Ranomafana Tours are doing at the moment, that Jessie and the team of guides like Emile are doing. At the moment, as Emile said, there's very little income for the guides. It's quite really a tough situation for people that have relied so heavily on ecotourism and visiting researchers for work. The borders being closed is obviously a terrible situation, and so tours like this are one of the few ways at the moment that we are able to help provide these wonderful people with an income. So please share the tours. There's lots more coming up. I'm sure there'll be more of these in the future. So yeah, please share, donate where you can, if you can. Otherwise, help us spread the word so that we can get more people in to learn from all of these, the 35 years worth of experience from Emile and lots of others as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Where can we learn more about more tours that are coming up? So there's, I think, a email list that you can sign up to. I don't know the exact address for that. If you contact Jessie, she can confirm that. There we go. Ranomafanatours.com will have a schedule soon.
Yeah.
But there's stuff happening all the time. I think there's lots of events popping up on Facebook. So keep sort of an eye out for those. There's lots happening. If anybody has any questions, I think Emile and I will hang around for a little bit longer to answer any of those. Otherwise, I think that is all from us, unless there are any questions out there. But yeah, again, just thank you all for coming. Thank you for supporting Ranomafana and Madagascar and Emile. I think we're very lucky to have so many people willing to support in any way that we can. But yeah, all right then. If that is no more questions, thank you everybody for coming. We will hopefully catch you next time.
There it is.
Woohoo! What a cutie.